Okay, it's 3:30. I feel like I have to keep sitting up, so I don't know. Um, I don't know. I just feel weird. I feel so weird, so uncomfortable, and my time of sleeping is so, I swear to God, it's just as busy as the time when you're awake. Like everything is so fucking weird. And which, by the way, I just saw a thing on what I just saw this morning on TikTok. Everybody's talking about the Schumann resonance. It's going wild, and it's um if you ever go and look at it, it has like all this like green and blue and white, and the white is like our new energy. So it's like the awakening. So you start seeing it's like the awakening happening. Um, and it's has like the universe is putting pressure. So like people are gonna keep being pushed to face things. Like things are gonna keep happening more and more and more and more and more. Like if you're not facing something, you've got something repeating over and over and over, like my days. If you got something repeating in your life, then there's something you need to look at it and see. Because I was just sitting there thinking, I was just seeing like, man, I must have had a life at some point where I was a slave, because boy, I sure get triggered into them working me and not giving a shit. Like, I was like, ugh. So anyways, but you gotta, whatever the things are that are coming up for you, you gotta face them head on, and so many people not doing that, especially for so long. And then I see it pushes it and pushes it and pushes it, where it's more and more and more stuff that you're going to have to face in a more compact time. And so it's going to be a lot more dramatic. It's going to be a lot more intense. And so the Schumann has got all this white going. And I was like, all these people talking about it. But when I was looking at it, I was like, our energy, that is the awakening energy as it's going down and starting to take over. And it seems like there's going to be like a whiteout, that's the whiteout is our energy. It just is like an energy burst. I'm telling you, our energy on the awakening thing is going to be intense when this ultimate awakening happens. And I don't know if it's just all different people awakening to all different things, or if it is, like a one singular thing that everybody all of a sudden realizes like this is a fake reality, because that could be, and it could be something that has to do with the ships and stuff, which don't, this whole thing they got going, they got so much stuff going right now with all this. And now what's in the BOMBS is, well, they don't even know how they could even get something like this is not even something we have here. This is a huge coordinated event, and how you can fucking tell is so fucking simple. I swear to God, it makes my head want to just fucking blow off my goddamn body. Is as soon as they come out and start talking about all the things that they have to take away from us to protect us. I mean, for God's sakes, what else? Ugh. So yeah, it's fucking going strong. And of course, it's like right before this other fucking Super Bowl thing. So of course they're gonna, and there keeps being these buildings. I don't know if I had already talked about it, because like I said, I'm like, I can't, I'm fucking lost in space, dude. And there's been all these explosions, not necessarily explosions. There's just all of a sudden a building just goes down, it just falls down. And they had had like three, I don't know, it was, I don't know that they were on Bourbon Street, but it was down, I think, in the French Quarter. And then they had this thing, and then they had all of these BOMBSs all planted everywhere. Like there's a lot going on, and then it's hitting in other places too. And so this is a coordinated event this is the kind of stuff our government does, because then we just submit. We take a knee. Oh God, I'm so scared. Protect us, please. So they just take away our rights. This is all just more ways for us to cage ourselves. That's why they attack us. And so, it's just one attack after another, and people have to start seeing. And the good thing is that there's so many people more now paying attention, that they look into so much stuff, and they're starting to see like, this is weird. Well, what? This is weird. Because I keep seeing all these people talking about how is the whole thing blown up, and but his license is sitting there perfect. Which now there's even a whole thing of conjecture over those cars can drive themselves. The one at the Vegas situation can drive themselves. So who's to say that that wasn't coordinated? It's set with coordinates and went. And who's to say that it wasn't already a dead body inside or something? And because they've always got those to discard. They've always got those to get rid of. Like they've got excess amount of that. And because the meat is just, as soon as you start talking about them having to get rid of all the dead bodies, meat comes in my mind. And all of this, there's a lot of stuff, kind of like a lot of puzzle pieces going. And it seems that their next hit, they want to make a hit on this bird flu thing. And right now over in like China, they're showing like the hospitals are overrun. The people are all so sick and stuff. It's like, because we're all being fucking fogged, bitch. Like, I've been talking about this and talking about this. Yeah, Crystal, I've been talking about this. I've been talking about these symptoms and sounding crazy for, I think, over a year. And then now you got all these people saying it, which is confirmation to me. You know, it's this constant confirmation, which I keep getting because I keep noticing these weird things. And you know, I mean, I was having the fog, and other people, you know, weren't having it like I was. I was getting sick from it. I am living alone and getting sick. And that is the thing too, is that people need to really realize is because they're going to try and do some kind of thing like a lockdown, or if it's going to be this weather thing or whatever, and this sickness, which is probably coming from tainted food or something, but they are, because there's all this bird flu thing, you know, all this tainted, there's a lot of fucking stuff, even the milk, everything. And so the thing that people need to really remember is we're not getting sick from each other. We're not getting each other sick. They are getting us sick through these forms, through the food, the water, the air. And the air is, it's not just the air anymore. It is a carrier of gases and toxins and stuff. They've infiltrated our breathing air with gases and stuff that are making us sick. And they don't just use all the same one in all the same places. And so, but there's something in common, because all these people are having the same symptoms that I've been talking about for so long. And so, and I have said, I can watch this cycle that they do with the weather, and I can watch how my system goes. Like, oh, well, next to be the stomach flu. Okay, well, now I'll be congested. Now I'll be sneezing my head off. Now I'll have the headaches. And so, and then with all of the pressure and stuff on the planet and all of the intensity, then that can also be affecting you. So there's just a lot to hold on to for your psyche, you know. And there's something that I do want to say, because hopefully I've got Vanessa blocked. I don't know. I sometimes it's hard for me to imagine that there's real people who could behave like this. And it's got to be like, okay, this got to be a bot. And you go and look at their account, and it's like this account, there's no, but these people who feel authorized to go into other people's account and start saying stuff when they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And so anyways, I'm there's no, like, go find your vibration, go find who you jive with. And I don't have time or patience for people who are just nasty and vicious and hateful. Like, I don't have time for you. Like, you've got your people out there, go find them. Don't keep infiltrating places where people are trying to, you know, I would say this space is about coming into your own being, you know, understanding what's happening here and going towards yourself, of being strong and clear on yourself. And when people are coming in and keep trying to do that, like, that's stuff I've dealt with my whole life. No way. No. And like that. So anyways, hopefully that person is blocked, whoever the hell Vanessa is. And, but the way that YouTube does it is so weird. It's like, I don't know if they just block this person from my vision or what. Like, I don't know. And they don't give me my notifications. They don't do my comments. They remove likes. They remove comments. They remove followers. Like, it's like I'm telling you, when the class action suit starts, I'm going to be lining up on that one because there's so much interference. It's not, they don't let things happen naturally. They constantly interfere. And so it's very irritating. And then I think they send people out here like this because it's really hard for me to think like people behave like this. Like didn't you learn to not behave like this when you were a child? And I don't know. Sometimes having parents that are kind of hard on you or something, I think helps you have better behavior. Some people just have such bad behavior. Like, nobody ever told you if you have got nothing nice to say, just don't say anything. You go into a stranger and start trying to talk smack, and then even ignore them. Like you're just trying to get the whole the group to get on your side. It's like man, yeah. This channel is about moving out of that kind of energy. And people who want to come in with that kind of energy, well, we're at the point of having better boundaries and being able to say, no, you need to move on. This is not your place. So, of course, you're not going to like it or feel comfortable because we're not your people. So, mosey on down the road. Go find a channel that vibes with you. So, and that is for all of us, you know. None of us have the right or the business to go into somebody else's stuff and start telling them. It's like, that's interfering. Get in your own damn lane. Stay out of mine. And so, and we all have to abide by the things that we want other people to abide by in our life. You know, that's how we are the change, is because we are the ones who set the standard by our own behavior. Because don't forget, what you put out will come back. And so it all goes together. That's like an all coordinated, plus my chest is super tight. I can feel it. We can keep feeling it wheeze. But it's like, I swear to God, it's like dense or something. I don't know how to, there's like a denseness to the atmosphere or something. So it's hard to catch your breath. And then plus the fucking, yesterday, I didn't even go take the dogs for a walk. Stella is holding against me for sure. And I know she needs to go for a walk every day because of her hips and stuff. But so when we got up, it was so dark and so overcast and dreary. And it's a weird color. Like, it's not normal colors outside. And so it's just like, fuck, man. That is a fucking walk of goddamn death out there. It's like, fuck, I need to wait until at least it clears something. Clears some of this fog, clears some of this color, clears, where it looks like that there's some air out there. And so it was just kept staying dark and dark, and the dogs just kept snoozing, and I was crocheting. Oh, I'll show you. I got a ways to go, but I'll show you where I'm at. But so I'm just in there crocheting, and finally I was like, fuck, I need to go to sleep while they're sleeping because I'm fucking so tired. Like, and I still cannot sleep past an hour and a half or 2 hours at the most. So I'm just constantly woke up. And so anyways, I'm just super tired. And so laid down, and we were all snoozing away. And then I had like rain sounds or something on, like one of those cabin pictures, the rain in the fireplace on. And so, because the background noise really helps to cut out them hearing every little fucking sound. It really relaxes them. And so and plus it helps me sleep. And so I had that on and it started raining. It was pouring outside, but it was like going in with that. But I was like having this awareness of it. This is the weird thing. It's like I'm in all these different conscious states at the same time. And it's like, oh, this is so weird. And so I was like, I'm having a conversation with myself about the rain or something. And then, but then I woke up and it was like, oh, it is raining. And so it was like pouring. My yard's flooded again. And my yard is such a fucking swamp at this point. It's such a fucking mess, man. And so so it's just pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring all day. I don't know when it stopped last night. And once it gets like pitch black, the dogs are totally out again. And so I don't know. I was talking to my mom for a while. She sent me a Christmas present. Oh, one thing that she sent me was this like this mobile thing, but it's solar. And then when you hang it out, the stars and the sun, or the stars and the moon, light up. And so I'm going to hang it out there. Well, that's mostly where I get the sun anyways. And so I can see it out my kitchen window. But outside my kitchen window, because my daughter and my son-in-law, when they were together years ago, they got me this really cool like copper twist sun thing. So it was like a big piece of copper or something, and somebody carved this cool sun thing in it. And then you kind of tip it up around, so it kind of goes like this. And so it spins. It's like this spin of the sun. It sparkles, and then it spins around and it sends out all this like cool, it's really cool. I think it's the coolest thing. I love it so much. And I was like, oh my gosh, how cool will that be? I'm going to hang my sun and my moon and my stars by that. And then at night, that should light up when you can't see that. I was like, I got my own little system going. I got my own Truman Show right here. I'm in charge of this Truman Show. My sun and my moon over here. So anyways, that's my reality. And, but the weather is so sucky. And so I don't know now, because I did have to go out and get wood. I did have to go out and get packages and stuff. And so I was getting the water on me. It was like, you can't do anything about it. You have to breathe it in and stuff. So now I'm just like super, super congested. Fuck, man. Sometimes I don't know until I start talking. Even though I talk to the dogs in the morning, when I start talking, it takes a lot more air to keep talking and talking and talking. And so it's, I notice the tightness then. And plus I can hear it. So did I already show you the blanket thing? So the blanket she sent me, so she sent me that cool mobile thing. And this blanket, so she said she's always into this, getting me this English Mastiff stuff. I think it's so cute. And this blanket is so soft. But so she said when you order it, they have to make it. And she's like, so it's taking a long time to get it. So anyways, it finally got here. But it's super cute. So I'll show you. It's like a watercolor of an English Mastiff. And it's really so soft. It looks more like a wall hanging. And I was like, well, it could even be like a beach towel thing. I don't know. It's really cute and really soft. But anyways, here's how far I am so far in the blanket. This is the third skein. So it's like, I don't know, probably 2/3 or half still to go with this. And then, so then that will be 3. And I got 5 more to go. This is going to be like really big. It seems like, gosh, it seems kind of like my grandson would be like, that's a big thing to drag around. But she said that's his favorite because his aunt made him one. And he's always always dragging around. And so this should be almost like, I think it would be able to kind of be a blanket over a twin size bed when it's done. And if anybody ever gives you a blanket that they crocheted or something, you got to really be appreciative, because not only is yarn super, super expensive, but the hours that it takes to make and stuff. And I think that a lot of people don't realize, like, it's way more, you put way more into And I mean, it's like a blanket, like people will be like, oh, I got this $50 blanket for $20 on sale. Well, when you're getting one of these are like $100. Like, the supplies on there is expensive, and that's not even counting the hours to make it. So, anyways, because I know a lot of people don't value that stuff, but if somebody gives you something like that, I think at least put it in a cabinet and save it. Maybe give it to one of your kids in the future. Which I just saw this video that I thought was kind of cool. So it was this girl went to the thrift store. She found this cute little basket that was hand embroidered, and a thing made inside of it and stuff, a whole little thing. And so she was all excited and she thought it was really cool. So she got it. And then she read inside that there was a note from the people who owned it originally. And it was a 72-year-old woman. And it was her mom's bag that her mom had made 50 years ago. And that she has been carrying around. But now she's getting older and she's trying to let go of things. And so she thought it was time for somebody else to get to enjoy that purse, but she wanted them to know the history and stuff like that. I thought, that is so cool. That would be cool to get more stuff like that. Like, because there is a lot of things, because I've been a thrifter for a long time, and there is a lot of stuff like, oh man, I wish I knew more about the story or something. I thought that is cool. So anyways, we got that going. We got the psycho people out there in the world. I just saw like this, it just is like people just keep looking at things all in this, I don't know, a directed way. Because to me, it keeps being backward. But it's like I saw things that other people haven't seen. So I can't sit there and say, like, well, they're stupid idiots. Because they haven't seen what I've seen. If they'd seen what I've seen, then we'd be having a conversation that would be different. But they only have seen what they see. And so it's just weird because, we're all seeing our own things. We all see what we see. And so, wish there was something nibbling on my cheek in the sleep or something. Something bit me. I don't know what it was. It's like, and I felt something crawling in my eyeball. Those fucking bots are coming out of my eye to chew on my face in the daytime. Who knows? But I chew on my face at nighttime. I said something else. I was doing some video and I said something else. Because I was doing some videos yesterday. I did a video and talked about something for the people down south to get prepared. And somebody in the comments was like, oh, that's such a smart thing, And I was like, oh, I should tell some more of these things that I see, because a lot of people don't see. I mean, we don't all have the same algorithms. We don't all see the same things. And so I was like, oh, I should say some more of the things I've seen to help people. And then you get back, somebody is like, we have had deep freezes before. We know what to do. It's like, okay, well, I'm not directly trying to accuse you of being an idiot or anything. I don't even know you. And there is a lot of people out there who don't. So that's kind of very judgmental and egomania of you to think like everybody has the same perception as you. There's a lot of people. I bet you there's so many people right now, because the phone's not even telling that. I don't know if the news is telling this about this system, but my phone definitely doesn't seem to know anything about it. So there's lots of people, I think, that don't have any idea about this cold front that's about to come in and how severe it's going to be. And now they keep saying it's mostly going to affect the people down south, and which is weird, because what was I saying yesterday about this below 40, below 50 thing, that wind chill thing that was going on? I think it was like Wyoming, Montana, Toronto, Buffalo, like up in a certain region. And like I've said, it like just like over here where I'm at. Oh yeah, okay. That they're beta, they test things, they try things out in a small to see how it's gonna do. And so I was just talking about that yesterday with that extreme weather, and now all of a sudden it's like boosted down, and they're saying it's gonna affect mostly the people down south. So I don't know. All this stuff is such nonsense. But the thing I had just seen also is Washington State. So over here where I'm at. So I've got power. But for of the electric, the big things have been attacked. And so it's some kind of an attack on our electric or power grid system or something. And they've done 4, like Tacoma, um, Puget Sound. Like there's some places that there's people out have no power. And then this is going to be going and going. They're going to keep doing this shit. And this is the thing that this guy who I just saw, and he was talking about these. I think it was the one who was talking about the one in Washington State and the electric thing. And he was started going all towards it's the Russians, it's Vladimir. And he does this, he says this and stuff like that. But it's like all these people who are focused like that, it's like they haven't seen this other stuff. It's like, so there's more to it. And for one thing, Vladimir is very much on the awakening thing. He is trying to free us from the corporation, the banker, the hostile keepers of this realm. So he is trying to, and it's not just trying to, like, this is happening. But what they have to do is make it super big and super dramatic because they got to get people's attention. They got to get people to realize what's happening. They can't be fighting the people. And the more that we realize what's happening, the more you see the Schumann light up. Because just like I was talking about, our energy is what they fear. Well, there's other people who have figured like it's more directing our energy. So there's awakening us instead of fighting against us and just, coming at us with all this stuff. They're having all this big dramas and dramas play out. And people are just like, oh my God, overwhelmed and what is that? Like your system's full and everybody's like glitching out. Like it's just like it's so much. Everybody's on overload. And so it's this this awakening thing. And then like, I can't imagine people who aren't awake yet, like I can't imagine what their sleep is like. I mean, they have got to feel so much tension. They've got to feel so much, like, I'm sure at work, everything is just so insane. Like, I'm sure things are so repetitive. They don't understand why this certain person keeps doing this shit over and over. And it's like, because so many people are like lost out of the spiritual world of where the world makes sense, and they're stuck in this 3-dimensional abyss of like being an organic accident that's like a fungi that grew from the ground out of the oceans or something and formed itself. And luckily we have these genius old fucking fuckery relics that want to rule us, and we're supposed to take a knee to these rulers. And so, but you have to, you have to feel, to me, it's like you got to feel more than the story. The storyline that they tell you, got to feel like, that's some bullshit. Like, yeah, right. Like, like, you got to feel inside yourself that you're more than what they tell you you are. That's what it seems like to me. And it seems like, oh, yeah. In this, okay, so on there's a whole group of people who are in the part of the awakening thing, but all this stuff with the BRICS, this is the thing, it is all a peace treaty. It's a global peace treaty, and everybody is going to be distributed equally, and everybody has to sign on. They're not going to start hoarding it, not give it to their people. Everybody, in order to have the gold, this is this jubilee, this is this time of freedom for mankind where everything goes back. It's like what was meant to be ours that was not being taken and hoarded by these people goes back now to the people, which a lot of it is gonna be, so it kind of is, it's not like just easier, but it's just a way to get started. It's just going to go so much into communities, and then it's going to go into a lot of class action suits and stuff. you know, like this J6 thing. Or in 50B, 100B, like there's nothing that we need to worry about. Like there's so much excess. The universe always had excess. They are the ones who restrict and get us to think we need this paper to go and get what we need. They've formulated this compromised uh, way of experiencing this reality. And so it is, yeah, you spend your time running on their hamster wheel. And so, and then they just got so much worse, because then it was like, then they started making us sick. Then they're profiting off of us getting sick. Then they started killing off our families and stuff. And so, and right now, I mean, we're so under attack. Then people it's an inside job. These are all inside jobs. Like, and it's so easy to see, because they always rush in, and that they've got to make more rules, more laws. And then now they're trying to say Donald has to show up for his sentencing on the 10th. Like, there's going to be so much drama that's going to keep going over the next, and I don't even know. Like, are they even going to prolong it out? Like, and then is it kind of, so we see, like, this is absurd. Why? Well, I mean, we've already said this guy's supposed to be doing it. Now we got to go through all this fucking rigmarole, because it's all this just bullshit. But we have to see the bullshit. We have to see it. We have to be affected by it. We have to be like, this is some fucking bullshit, man. So I don't know how they're going to play out this next fucking month or whatever. I'm sure it's going to be ridiculous, is that everything keeps being so fucking ridiculous. It's so fucking ridiculous. It's like laughable. Now this mayor, whoever, this like police chief, this stuff keeps happening. I can't believe how many of these different stories I've followed. The same shit keeps happening. But this police chief, or whoever the fuck, she was over in Oakland before. Got fired or something over corruption or some bullshit, comes over here and gets hired. So see how I had said all these different things are going to happen, and they're going to be exposing more bad things, more criminals in our system. And you know, like all the people want to get really hung up on like Diddy and stuff like that, but there's way more in our living, not just ones that we watch on a screen, but ones that we interact with, ones that we go to the store and buy their stuff. It's like, so there's all of these things that we have to come into this realization about. I think that there is this, because I remember I even had thought about becoming a realtor at one point, because it was so, you know, so many women were going into it. Oh my God. Oh, get a job where there's so much women, and then always go in to create this corruption. It's like, man, they've got a thing against women, man. And then I'm sure, I don't know, there's a whole thing about this LLC and stuff, and about this, I don't understand it all, but I've seen the one woman who got busted off of it and had to go to federal prison over it. And I had been talking about it for so long, and then she was talking about it, and then I keep seeing all these other things and these LLC, all this shit, because all of that is criminal. And all of these women were going into real estate for so long, and it was getting them really sucked into a web of corruption. And but it was, I think for a while, it was definitely, I don't know if there's a lot of men realtors now. There's always been a lot of women realtors. And they get dressed up and be fancy. They just go walk around and show a house, and then they just make money writing out contracts. It's like, fuck, that seems like an easy job. And so a lot of women were going into that. It wasn't like a big skill job, you know, and you got to buy cute clothes and get dressed up and stuff. And most people, this is a funny thing, most people want to get dressed up. It's like, what happened in our society? Women used to get dressed up. Women used to be like really, you know, glitzed out more. And we just have gotten so like, nah, we guys want to sit on the couch and complain about life. Give me some ice cream. Get a beer too. And it's like, God, we just have gone down. They take away the thing, and we just keep going further down instead of jumping over their obstacles. And but this is the time now, though, because they beat us down too far. They've gone too far. And now this is what is the awakening. This is what's bringing everybody out of that state of compliance. It's like out of the fog, out of where they say the veil is thinning and stuff, because you're starting to see through the bullshit. And there's so much bullshit, and it's so fucking absurd. It's laughable. I can't even believe how ridiculous some of this shit is. So, which it gets people really irate too. They get all worked up about it. And how stupid do they think we are? Well, this is all just to get people woke up. Once you get woke up, then you're supposed to like be connecting into yourself and start doing like the work and stuff, working on yourself, start looking through different lenses at life, start understanding things. But people just get on that fucking fear wheel and they just keep on pounding away like, and they get more and more frustrated. They get mad at people, why isn't everybody else seeing it and stuff like that. And but that is a part of their lessons, because nobody's doing the wrong thing. So even when it appears like people are just like, what the hell are you doing? Then they're still doing what they're here to see in themselves, like that they do this or this other side or whatever. Everybody's got different things that we're all doing. It is like all these different angles and different directions, because that is what we are, is the players of every possibility that we can come up with. And that's why I had said that as things play out, you're going to see crazy shit come playing out. All sorts of crazy shit and horrible storylines. And don't forget, I know it's hard to remember, but when you see like whole families going all together, and it seems like a really horrific thing or whatever, but really, I mean, it's really a beautiful thing that all those souls left together, that they all went to the next, wherever they were going, if they were leaving this realm, if they were going back home, wherever it is. And then also all these souls that die who don't seem to know each other. They do know each other. Like the souls, they're in, everything is like in groups and stuff. And so nothing is random. Everything has to do with what you're here to experience. And so a whole group was a part of that experience. They were there for that. And it's not just them, obviously. It is about their families and the repercussions and how it goes out and goes through our society and stuff. And that is one reason why also where you're going to see so many just crazy storylines and stuff like that, like the girl, her mom specifically says, don't go down there. And she sneaks off after her mom goes to sleep and goes down there, and she's the first one who is killed. And so just crazy stuff like that. And it's not so much like, well, you should listen to your mom, but her mom was giving her the signs. The signs were probably around her, and that there was going to be problems. But see, a lot of times when we get to our life review, then it is where you're learning about the signs and stuff. You can try and learn how to read the signs in life. That's what I would say. That's what I do, is you try and read the signs in life and try and be tuned in to what are they telling me? What are you trying to say? What are you telling me? And being aware. But you also, when you're doing that, there's more to it to decipher, because you have these two energies coming at you, and the negative, and that energy is a way of flipping things and being manipulative. That's why we've got so many people in this dark space, and they don't even know they're in a dark space until the lights come on. And the lights coming on is going to be like this frequency blast, and like in the Schumann, like it's going to be like a big whiteout, I think. And it's going to be like and all of a sudden it's like this awakening thing happens, that it's going to show up. And I think it's showing up as these white blasts keep getting more and more and more. And I know they've had other whiteouts, and I'm sure that has something to do with all of a sudden we all just have like these epiphanies or something. But anyways, but that is this big energy, and that is the energy that they're so fearful of. But I think that they're this other group, because don't forget, they all like fracture out of this group of people who have been studying us for a long fucking time. And so they have access to all, like, they know, like, I'm sure that they've got people who are involved in some of this stuff. And so they have been studying us. Like, if you go and look up the disclosure files on the CIA thing, like, it's a whole fucking, there's so many. And I see people who go and read them and look into them, and it's all about studying us and stuff. And they know so much more about us. And they definitely understand about the energy and stuff, and about, it's gonna be, it's us together. And it's like, it's like, it's like, us together, when we have the energy, it's not like, we would all go out um, and try and, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that I think they already have groups doing that, going out and trying to coordinate their energy together to do things. But it's not going to be just like that. It's going to be more of a, more of a, like I hear stationary, but I see like an independence, more of like a person getting up in the morning, knowing the significance of how they direct their energy, and all of us being on the same page about that. And so all of us staying towards, it's definitely going towards the things that we want, and the things that we want. I don't want to just say desire, because so many people just are so caught up in their desires. And you got to get a handle on that, because there's also a part of you that is, you're here to play a role. And so your desires can interfere with your role. If your desires are just, everything is about this balance. So if you have an awareness of your role, and your desires fit into where you're directing, you're being directed towards, then it makes sense. But if you're trying to discount where you're being directed and trying to chase some other desire, you have to become aware of that and see that you're fighting against yourself, because it's like you are a coordinated event. It's like wound up and set on a trail, and you can only go the direction you're going to go. And you're always going to get to where you are at the same time that you're supposed to be, because we have all of these meetups that we have all the time. Like, we're always just, running across, just like my Truman Show, freaking weird stuff over here. But we have these, like, to me, where I hear those astrology people talk about transits and stuff like that, these intersections or something, where we intersect with each other in life, and that there's purpose behind that. There's a reason. And we're supposed to be gathering all of gathering information. So, you could meet somebody and you're just talking to them for a couple minutes, and they just say something, and it could be a sign. It can be a message. It can be like a lot of things. So you just want to keep it. You don't just discount like, oh, well, I don't know them. It doesn't matter. I don't know what they said, No, everything that comes to you, there's a reason for it. And then I think that there's people who do that, who are just like, I don't know them. I don't care what they said. And and then they're missing out on these messages that are coming through from the universe, and these signs and stuff, because they don't give it any warrant. They don't pay any attention to it. And so that is their own interference. And that would be something that they would go see in their life review, and they would have to look at them own selves and figure out, like, where does it come from? Why am I doing that? And then it seems like you go into other lives and stuff to help you redirect yourself, to purge out this energy that you carry that directs you in the wrong direction or something. And as so, yeah, kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like we are, um, what is that thing called? Those things where you go in the woods, it's north, south, east, west. What are those things called? That we have those. That's what we are. And we are, but our arrow is always pointed due north. It's always going, oh, towards the North Star, towards the light, towards. So it's pointed that way. But we have all these things that pull us off, and we always have to find our way back and get ourselves in balance. It's all about finding balance, because even if you get pulled off in something that some people consider negative, say, and but it's really about you finding your own balance. Just because somebody else says something's negative, why are you saying it's negative? Because they say it's negative? Then you got to look at yourself and go like, well, why do I think it's negative? Just because they think it's negative? Well, how do I feel about it? Do I think it's negative? And so you need to figure it out for yourself. Don't be just like, oh, well, they think it's negative, so it's obviously negative. That is what we're breaking free from. Is there is nobody whose their opinion matters more than ours. And so, but we hand it over because we want to be liked. We want people to accept us, whatever, all the different reasons that we go out and do these toxic behaviors. But so it is a lot more about you becoming who you want to be. If you're somebody who likes to go out and have some beers with somebody, just because everybody else says like, oh, well, that's not good, you should do that. And if that's what you enjoy doing and you like it, then that's for you to figure out. It's not because they don't like to do it. They don't think it's a good idea. Well, why would that affect you in your life and your life journey? Like in you, you gotta go, do the things that you like to do, but you always gotta be finding balance, like, because there can also be like, those are signs for you, like those people saying that are signs for you to reevaluate your own self. But to see all these things, all these views, all these perceptions are all our own individual journey. It's not like somebody can tell you, well, you got to do that, because then there's a counter side. There's so many different sides to every single thing. So you can't just like have, there's not just one side. And then when somebody's telling you the side you need to be on or what you need to do, it makes no sense. Then you are somehow got an entanglement with them because they are trying to tell you, and you're latched on to what it is that they're trying to show you or tell you or something. And so you gotta just let go. It's not, you don't have to see life through somebody else's eyes. You don't have to be restricted through somebody else's own restrictions, their own limitations, because anything that you look at that somebody limits themselves off of, you could look at it as a limitation. They're not just here to enjoy life. To me, it's a way more about being present and in the moment. And that's why I want to say, like, I'm not going to say, like, oh, I don't drink. I don't drink. Like, I don't know. I don't know if something could happen. I could go to some party and, they're having some kind of cocktail and I want to have one, and I'm going to have the drink because I want to be right there in that here and now in that moment. But then I may be like, no, I don't want to have one because it will give me a headache or something. It's being right then and making the decision right then and there about what it is that you're doing and what it is you want to do, instead of putting all of this, setting these restrictions and rules on yourself. Well, I don't do that. Well, I don't do this. Well, I'm not that. It's like, I'm just I'm a ball of clay, and I'm just becoming who I am as right before your eyes. I'm just becoming, I'm molded by the world around me and my opinions about the things that occur. And that is the creation of me, and I'm creating and becoming me throughout all of the things that are happening in that, and we're changing all the time. And so it's a lot more fluid. Like the more that you hold yourself back, it's like you petrify yourself. You put yourself in a state of decay, holding yourself down with restriction and rules on yourself and stuff. So when other people are putting rules on you, and then we abide by the rules, then we got to be like, well, why are we abiding by rules that are not in alignment with us? It doesn't feel right to me. So why am I abiding by this rule? Well, it must be to please this person. Well, why am I trying to please this person? And so, you just walk yourself through it. In like a year, I mean, we're all having to wake up and face this. These people have come up with like putting rules and laws on us. And yeah, Crystal, that's exactly what motherfucking just chaps my ass about this whole fucking dog thing. They come in and they go into these places, charge these people, and then they take them to these places, and then they have a license to kill, and they just do whatever the fuck they want. And this is not going to stop until we start saying, no, this is some bullshit. So you're going to make charges on a person in their house for doing something to an animal, but you guys are just going to line them up and you're going to just taking them down. And Harris County is out of fucking control. And there is some sort of paperwork trail because people are finding it. And they're going on and they've got footage of these dogs that are not aggressive. They're playful. They're out having fun, playing with people. And there's all sorts of footage. And then they're going in and seeing that they're putting these dogs are aggressive. They had to take them down. Bullshit. And besides the fact, how can you sit there and say a dog's aggressive when you're having them held in a cage? Like they're not even getting to go out and socialize. They're like, any of us, if anybody locked us in a cage, how would we feel? How would we feel after an hour if somebody wouldn't let us out of a motherfucking cage when we wanted out? Like it's some bullshit. These are souls. These are not stupid animals that don't know what to fucking do. They're souls here having an experience. And we are causing a great deal of interference in their experience. And it is, it's disgusting. And the government always, they just get away with fucking doing whatever the fuck they want. And then they sit there and take money for this shit. Like, you bet your ass, you go into, where's our money going? Where's our tax money going? They've got money going into these shelters because they've got to take care of all these strays. And so that is grant money, it's mishandling money, the whole thing. It's just more government corruption being shown. And that's what these dogs are, is martyrs to show us what corruption that we live in. And it's disgusting. And how we've allowed them to get this much power over us. Like they literally are going in and arresting people for doing things that these people are doing all goddamn day long. And I just can't even believe that there's people out there that call themselves veterinarians and say that they care about animals, and they're just going and lining up these dogs and doing this. This is just so fucking outrageous. And that's why I kept saying the corruption is the dollar bill that these people are chasing. It is the corruption in our society is just disgusting. And it's all around us. I just think, people get so caught up in the politicians and the celebrities, but I'm caught up in the developers, the realtors, the doctors, the lawyers, all of these people who work for these corporations who, what was this one? Oh yeah, because there's all these girls now who are starting to put the pieces together about menopause and stuff because it's all bullshit. And then they did take out all of my stuff. And all these people, now are putting all this stuff together about in ways you can heal, like fibroids, all of these things. And they don't tell us, they just tell us like, oh, it's an emergency. We got to hurry up and take this out. And so then you go in and do it. And then, you find out later, like, fuck, they've cut so many parts out of me that I need. They've assaulted my belly button. I don't even know what the hell is going on with that business. And all of this stuff, like it was very much living in their world is very different world. When you wake up, it's a very different world. And you do look at it, it's like, oh my God. And the parts that you play and stuff, it's just like, ugh, so gross. And so, and you just like you see yourself as being so ignorant, such a little follower. Oh, okay, well that's gonna make me better. And all they do is make us worse and worse and worse. But this girl, what was she saying? She just got kicked out of her fourth gyno, or the third or fourth one that has now said that they can't do anything for her. And the complaint that I saw her talking about was some kind of a mix between yeast and vaginosis, or bacterial, I think it's called bacterial vaginosis. And it is, and it's a problem with the pH. And so these doctors, they're putting her through all these tests and all this stuff that they can't figure out. They keep putting her on antibiotics. It's just, of course, it's going to make her worse and worse and worse. All of her shit is just going to get worse. And so, and plus the antibiotics creates the yeast infection. She probably just had the vaginosis crap, and then they give her antibiotics. These doctors are a bunch of yahoos. They don't have intelligence. They're corporate fucking zombies. They don't think for themselves. And if they're thinking about something for themselves, they're thinking about their pocketbooks, they're thinking about their toys, they're thinking about their drama and stuff. We're in their way. All they want is their checkbook or their pocket or their money. They don't give a shit. And so, anyways, so she's got this vaginosis thing, then they're giving her all that, which creates a big yeast infection or something, so she can't get rid of it. Now the doctor's just like, well, we don't know what to do with you. We've done all we can. Go to find a different one. No, come back here. This is a young girl. She's crying on the internet, like, and I left her comment. I leave out so many comments that nobody ever says anything back on some of these things. It's like, you know, I don't know, but so if you have an issue with that vaginosis thing, it's a pH issue. That is what your pH is out of balance. And it can be from sperm, can go in and make your pH be all out of balance. But how you solve the issue is put yourself back in balance, and you use boric acid. And so you get boric acid, and it comes like in a little container thing. Then you buy a bunch of capsules, and you make your own pills out of it. So you make all these little capsules, and then you use them as a suppository. So you just take one, and you go to bed at night, and you just put one of those up there, and then in the morning you're fresh, everything's fine, you don't have it. And then you will, you know, whatever puts you out of balance, it will come back again, and you just keep those. You can use those. And I had gotten that from a medical professional. She was also the one who told about the magnesium. And back in those days, yeah, it was much more about like, what are you trying to do? Give me something like natural. Like, I want the real stuff. I don't want the fake stuff. You know, it's like, oh my God, how the change in mindset has become is so crazy. I can't even believe the difference of how I look at so many of these things. And it is like the emperor's new clothes when you look back at yourself like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed of my own self. Like, how could I have been so stupid? But anyways, I mean, you've got simple things like that. Like, girls going to the doctor trying to get the vaginosis fixed from them, and the doctors don't even know what the fuck that they're talking about, and putting them on antibiotics thinking that they need that, and it is all they need is to have some boric acid up there to reset their pH balance. And then you may want to also look into, you know, other ways in your diet or something to increase the pH or whatever. I've always had this pH imbalance thing. And so, you know, all I keep trying to do is just go towards taking care of myself, you know, and it's ass kicking when they just keep making you sick and making you sick. But the thing that I think that helps me is that the healthy side of me is what keeps me from just keeling over. And, you know, I think that if I wouldn't have gone in the route I went, which I was always going to go in that way, but if I wouldn't have, it would have, I don't think I would have survived at all. I was so sick back. But that could have been when I was healing the Hep C too. That's the thing, is like, because nobody was diagnosing me then. And that, what is so crazy is how much I was going to the doctor then, because I was so fucking sick. And they kept just sending me to this specialist, send me to this specialist. And, you know, I was just getting nowhere. And also there is like, I know I have phantom pain from the stuff they've removed. And also there is a space an empty space. And this is another thing that I had found out with dogs is why you're not supposed to be letting them cut parts out of them, because the empty space, and then it fill up and it can twist, like all sorts of, there's negative occurrences that happen by that space, because of where we have our space that we're supposed to be filled. Just like with the tooth thing, because I keep on thinking like, this is so trippy. Like, is the tooth gonna just go back? Like, it knows its own space, it knows where it's supposed to be, and it's just gonna go back in and fix itself right back where it was, you know? And so I'll show you the tooth since we're talking about it. But that's what I think it's going to do. I think it's going to go right back. And then I kept seeing like a knee, and like when you're a kid and you fall down and you skin your knee, and it makes that like divot, but it knows right where to grow back too. And so it's like, I think it's the same thing with your tooth. It knows right where to grow back too. So I'll show you, because to me it looks like the outer shell part, it looks like it's getting smaller, like closing in more. The black hole seems like it's getting smaller, and it definitely seems like it's getting to be more orange around there. So to me, it all looks like it is, it seems like it's going fast, but then, you know, I'll think like, oh, it's going to be done in a couple of days. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's a couple of weeks later. So it's just going to go slow, because I've had that happen with my hair so many times, where I've been like, man, it's going to be changed completely real quick. And then it'll be like, but still, like this color that it shows up on here, it's not the same color in the mirror. In the mirror is way more, but I think my whole hair doesn't look the same color in the mirror as it does on here. I've thought that there's weird things about the color and stuff. And that's the part where I kind of feel like, is this where AI is kind of working against us or something? And that's why, like, they're putting the wrong temperatures on the phone or something. I don't know. So anyways, I'll show you my tooth. And like, okay, that looks way better. So it's, I swear to God, it looks better than it just did a little while ago. I don't know, it looks better to me. And plus, how far it came. And you know what I was thinking about too? Because I was like really stuck on this. I wanted to go show the dentist, because that kind of like spreads it like in their mind of like, maybe we could be doing something different. Just maybe. But I was like, man, I go back in and I show them that it's healed, it's all closed up. They're going to want to do x-rays. I don't think that we should be letting x-rays be done to our faces. Like, and I was thinking about that too, is like, when I went that day when the tooth was broke, and they're like, well, do you want to do all your x-rays and stuff? And I was like, no, just focus on this tooth. I just want to come in and see, like, you know, I don't even know what I was looking for. You know, I was looking for something, some kind of diagnose. I don't know. So anyways, I really don't know. And so, then when they, looked at it, and they did an x-ray, and then, I think they did like 3 x-rays or something. And so over the past few days or whatever, when I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I don't think that we're supposed to be getting x-rays. I think these x-rays are affecting us. I bet you that they fuck up with your tooth and stuff even. I bet they cause more problems in our mouth than we have any idea about. And they do so fucking many of them. And so then, my stomach's growling. And so then I was like, if I go in and then they start doing that, if they start doing the x-ray and the tooth is still like, I don't know, like it's sensitive, like to tap on or something. And as I keep thinking, I'll go tapping, putting cold stuff on it. Let's look at pictures and stuff. And I was like, fuck, I don't know that I want him to do all that. So I don't know, because I would like to go in and show him like, fuck, look at this. It healed. And it didn't take that long. And they know how bad it was when you saw it before. Like, I thought it looked bad. I thought it looked like half my tooth was gone. And that's what was like kind of freaking me out. Like, fuck, man. I didn't know what the deal was. And so, yeah, that's what I was kind of looking for. And then to find out, like it broke off and broke the filling off. And it just trips me out because that is what they had wanted to do, was go in there. So he finds this little tiny cavity. And then he says, well, we need to remove this old filling that's next to the cavity because the cavity can be going behind the filling. And so in order to be able to make sure we get all of the decay, we need to remove the old filling to make sure we clean all of that area out. And so now I'm looking at it as that the tooth was going behind there to push it out, to push it, to break it off, to get it out of my mouth for some reason. It wanted it out of there. And so then it just broke in whatever the fracture. It seemed like it was way bigger. It seems like it's gone way, way smaller. Because I swear to God, I thought it was like half my tooth was gone, and it had this giant black hole back there. And it was more sensitive, but it wasn't super sensitive. Like I've had it where the nerve is just like way open. It still felt like there was some protection. The nerve wasn't freaking out, but it was easy to irritate it. And so I swear to God that I just feel like a slave. Like, Stell, come on, girl. So anyways, it seemed like a big part of the tooth was broken off. And it seemed like this gaping hole. It was all orange looking, and this big black hole. It looked like all the white was all like broken off and stuff. And now it's just like, dang, man. Like, gosh, dang. I don't know. So, but I'm not going to tell somebody else. Like, if you got to feel like you got to do what you got to do, don't, because I really feel like a lot of it has to do with because of all of the minerals and stuff. The mineral, having enough minerals in you is how it would be able to grow back. When we don't have enough minerals, that's why we keep falling apart and aging, our skin, our hair, our body. Well, part of the thing with our bodies and joints and muscles is the chemicals that they cause problems with a lot of that stuff, with inflammation and stuff. So that is but then, you go and talk to the doctor and he's just going to tell you, well, you're aging. Well, that's what happens as you're aging. And then they'll bring you through some tests to see if you got arthritis or whatever. They're always looking for something to put you on some kind of pill. So then you got, but really it's all just this wicked poisoning and this freaking depletion of minerals. And so when you start taking all the minerals, you'll start seeing things in your body changing. When you're seeing things changing in your body and you're seeing the effects going the other direction on the minerals, then I would say, you could, if something goes with your tooth, I would definitely try and see if I could grow it back before I went in and started having them do anything. But everybody's got to decide for themselves. Don't just do something just because I say. You got to do what feels right to you. Because those are also, where people get these infections. And then that can release and go up into your brain real quick. And it's bad. Like any infections you get up here in these teeth are really bad. And people get, the infection goes up in their brain and they die. And that happens. It's not just like, oh, well, that doesn't happen no, it happens. And I saw it happen more than once when I was a nurse. And then I've seen people talking about it, like their parent died because of it and stuff. So I've seen people talking about it. God, my nose is so stopped up. So it's, that's a real thing. So you got to be taking care of your teeth. So I just can't tell somebody like, well, you got to do this because then, they could not have a good outcome. And then that is like my karmic fucking attachment. And I don't want that. Like, I can tell you what is working for me, but what works for you is your own journey. You got to figure out what works for you. And you can hear other people say what works for them, and you can try different things, but you can't just be like, well, it works for them, so I'm just going to do it. But there's also, if it works for me, it will work for everyone. I'm not some like isolated case where it only works for me. Because then when I was talking to my brother, because he's sending me pictures, he's getting all his stuff and everything, and he goes, well, I hope it works for me. It's like, it will work. It's like, it's not, like we're not, like some of us, it won't work to put our minerals back. No, it will work for all of us. We just got to figure out how to coordinate it, because there's such a system of a domino effect, and you need like this one to absorb this one, to absorb this one, to absorb. So you need, it's just like a whole thing. To me, it seems like it starts with the iron. And so it's like, make sure you're cooking with the cast iron, because if you can go and take iron supplements and stuff, but it won't absorb. People stay anemic on those things. But where you get big changes when you cook it, and then the iron goes into the food, because that is what we're lacking. I had just seen somebody talking about the reason why we have such a copper deficiency in our society is because they've removed it out of the soil or something, and so it's not going into the food. And so, see, everything is like, the food is where you absorb your nutrition, and in your food, it goes through the system. Oh yeah, because our systems are changing. So, but it's going to be slower. It's not going to be like, we're one way, and then I think it's going to be kind of a slower thing as people kind of make the choices as it goes, as things go. Um, but I definitely think we're going to be changing how we consume our energy. And I don't think we're going to be eating in the same kind of ways as we've been. But I think there's also this other thing of like enjoying to eat. And so we don't want to take away something that's fun to do, like get together with all your friends and make food and sit around eating together. That's fun. So anyways, we'll see how things play out. But things are going to be changing for sure. But before, we needed the vegetables to have the fruits or the vegetables or whatever, the things that grow from the earth to grow with the minerals, so that when we consumed them, we would get the minerals. But then they have done so much destruction and so much geoengineering and shit like that, that they have robbed us of that stuff. And so we have to go out and find how to put it into ourselves. And the way that's the easiest with the copper, because it used to be copper pipes. I think probably people who have old houses or built well are lucky enough that they still have copper pipes. But most people who have newer houses and stuff, it's all this plastic pipes and shit. And which there's another thing too about the copper pipes is, they could have started removing those and putting in the plastic ones, because certain chemicals that they were putting in, and it could have caused some kind of corrosion in the pipes. And so there may be even more fucking nefarious bullshit with their fucking, why the copper pipes went. But the way to get it is to get a copper cup, and then to just let your water sit in a copper cup for a while, and then it leaches the copper into the water, and then you drink the water, and then it absorbs into your skin, and then it absorbs into your body and your organs and all that stuff. And all of that, the copper goes in and feeds into your body. And since we've been depleted for so long, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, but you'll see a big difference. Like my mom saw a huge difference, but she was almost 80 too. And so she has gone for a long while without copper. So when she got the cup, because before she was doing the copper wires, and she had a bunch of copper wire coils, and she put them in a jug of water, and then that wasn't doing the trick. So, and it seemed like it would make sense, but no, the copper cup puts way more. Because once I sent her the copper cup and she used that, that's when she said, oh my gosh, I can't believe the difference of how I feel. And she could tell a difference in the energy and everything. because we're all running around on empty. We're running around, sickly. And they just, some of them are too stupid to sit back and laugh. But the people who do know, they sit back and laugh. They don't give a fuck. And they think it's funny. And it's not even like funny, like ha ha to them because they're so emotionless. It's more of like a snub, more of like they got one over on us. It's not like they're sitting there, finding humor. They don't know how to find humor. If they could find some humor, maybe they wouldn't be so atrocious. But they are kind of unfeeling kind of beings. They don't have feelings and emotions like us. And so things don't have an effect on them like they do us. And so anyways, the so drinking, getting a copper cup and drinking the water out of it, that gives you the best absorption. The same with the iron, cooking on the cast iron, that gives you your best absorption. The magnesium, there's a whole bunch of different magnesiums, but the magnesium is real important in this trifecta. And so, and then vitamin D, and so with this trifecta with the magnesium, the copper, and the iron are important, and it makes a big difference in your body. And so the magnesium can come in a whole bunch of different, and then there's also, though, people can be really deficient in zinc or selenium or all different kinds of ones. You have to, notice yourself. Don't just go and take something and just be, oh, well, I wish it was working, but it's not because it didn't work for me. No, you got to be looking at it as like, okay, so I've got some other deficiencies I've got to figure out. Something's out of whack in my domino system. And so I need to figure out what else I'm deficient in, what else I'm depleted in. And I think your body tells you, but you have to, I mean, that's could be a big step for some people to be listening to what their body's telling them. But things like the mineral salts, it covers a whole bunch of different minerals. So you get a whole bunch of different ones, even if it's not a whole huge amount. And so you get like several different magnesiums, but you get like 120 different minerals. And so using mineral salts, I think, is super important. And it's way better for you. Iodized salt is not good for you. Even the Himalayan, now the Himalayan, it's looking like that's actual giants. And they're going in and they're taking the giants' muscles and stuff, and then they're turning it into salt and selling it to us. It's uh, there's just so much stuff, man. Like they like, I guess there's nothing wrong with eating the petrified muscles of giants or something. Like, but anyways, the Himalayan salt isn't as good for you as the mineral salts, which is just more of their wacky bullshit, is telling us that we need to stay away from ocean water when ocean water is where you get the mineral salts. They go take the mineral salts out of the ocean water and then sell them to you for big money. But so just go down the ocean and get something and clean that. You got to figure out how to clean out all the other goo out of the water, I guess. But I just think, I've always thought it was absurd. Oh, there's water shortages. How much of our planet is water? And you're telling us there's water shortages? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's the absurdity. They've always done this absurd shit. And we just went along with the thing. It's like, is anybody else noticing all the other water out here? Like, we got lakes, we got rivers, we got oceans. Like, how does this make sense? Like, it makes no sense. And then it's so easy when they start trying to tell us that climate change and the way we green living and all this shit. It's so easy to see. It's the way that you're creating us to live is the problem. The living more normal isn't a problem. It's their creation of their environments, their reality, their realm, their weird world that they're trying to create to be in control over, to control all of us. And but there's, I mean, it does awaken us, it does give us lessons, it does teach us going through all of the bullshit, because there's a reason. It's not like I know some people feel like that they're a prisoner and trapped here and stuff like that. I don't feel like that. I feel like I've come here freely for the experience. And so but I'm not saying that other people they haven't been trapped here for a while, that they didn't get stuck in some kind of bullshit. because there's been a lot of bullshit, and these people have done resets and stuff. And to me, it's real easy to get people so confused that when they die and they come out of their bodies, they have no idea what's going on. They're so confused because they've been told for so long that you just cease to exist. And so then it's like, well, I'm still here. What am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? What's happening? And then they get people to go back in. Like, I think that that is where they start creating this thing of, so it was more of what was lacking in life. Then they got over here because they didn't ever know, that they were really a eternal being, and they always thought that they were the storyline. And then they come out of their bodies, and then they're easy pickings for these people because they're so confused as to what's going on. I mean, I thought that I was ceasing to exist. Is this real? What's really happening? They go try and talk to people and people can't hear them. Some people just get trapped in their own story, just keep going in their own story because they just don't know what to do. So, so anyways, that is more of the, I don't know, I just see purpose always in this connection to this spiritual side of yourself, this part, to me, that is always the part that you feel. Is what do you feel? And there's just like something that is more real, more eternal, more the essence of you, the part of you that people don't see. That is one thing. That is one thing that I had dealt with for so long, is like, people are so caught up in the visual that they don't see past it. And people don't see each other for who they are. They see each other for an illusion, and people get caught up in the illusion. Some people use the illusion. Some people use the illusion to hide behind and to use trickery on other people and manipulation and stuff. And it's like there's so much toxicity that is joined with this not knowing who you are, not being connected to your truth and stuff. So there's just like a lot of toxicity, a lot of darkness that comes from that. And that is the part where people are going to see the parts that they play in the darkness, their own darkness that comes out of them. And that's the parts that are all, where there's going to be all this healing and stuff. But that is the parts where people are going to be like shocked when they find out that some of these people and the corruption that they're involved with, and how the corruption affects the communities and stuff. And these people, just stay quiet because they're just, I mean, some people are scared quiet, but some people are just like, well, I'm just going to get my check. I'm just going to get my money. And, it's not my problem. And people just like let go of it. They don't take responsibility. I think that is also a part of the awakening, is that taking responsibility for how your energy works, where you direct your energy, how you feel and stuff. And like I was saying, it's going to be a lot more of each of us as individuals directing our energy in the morning, and feeding into this whole energetic system that keeps the planet in more of a balance and more of a community kind of lifestyle, in a community where I see like communication is more understood, that we don't spend so much time arguing and trying to force things and stuff. It's just like a lot calmer and peaceful when we go into ourselves and we take responsibility for ourselves and how we want the day to go, how we want to feel and stuff like that. And so it's us, each person, taking on accountability for ourselves is how everything changes. And so each of us play a part in it. And anybody who can't play their part, like, there's going to be no, well, we all did it except for that guy. He just doesn't do it. It's going to be like they won't be able to stay in the energy. Something will happen. And it's a frequency. And so, and this is this period of time where we all get this opportunity to work towards this frequency, to work towards this higher state of consciousness, this other way of looking at things, to not be toxic in the world, and to be more, because everything has to do with be what it is that you want. Be the kind of person that you want to interact with. Be the kind of person to other people. And so it's very much sets that kind of tone in our society. And but it's not to, well, I'm a good person, and if I was a good person you should be more like that. See, that kind of stuff's going to be going. That kind of stuff is going to make the person who is trying to force people to be like them is going to start showing up as like their narcissism, their egomania, their because what it really boils down to is their fear and why they have to control others. It all comes from a basic fear inside of them somewhere, and that they have to find their way back to that. But we're not going to keep allowing people to push us around and stuff. And people who continue that behavior, like the first person, Vanessa, who tells you stop this behavior and you continue, then you will keep running into dead ends, and that kind of behavior will continue to be pushed back in our society, where it's like, no, nobody wants this, nobody wants this, and if you are that, you're gonna find a hard time. Just like, the person I was lived in isolation for a long time, like being more in the light than in the dark. Then you are an outcast through when everybody's having fun in the dark. And then now it's going to be the opposite. Now it's going to be that if you can't get on board with the light, that you are going to be the outcast, and everything is going to go in this other direction, and there's not going to be the dark anymore like that. It's going to be, yeah, like a remnants or something. It wouldn't surprise me if we even go into a reality where we don't have a lot of darkness or something. Like, I don't know what there will be. I mean, oh yeah, because even if we had no night, we would still have technology. Like, we could go into our own capsule that would be where everything would be dark, where we could sleep. But I don't know, like, as our bodies change and stuff, are we going to still have the same needs of food and sleep and stuff? Like, I don't know. Like, when I look at it, it just looks like we go from this heavy density, like old movie, but it's not black and white, it's color. But it's like the color goes into cartoons. It's like one of those things where it goes into the cartoon world. And in cartoon world is where, like, you can run into a wall and just come back out, like nothing happened. Your car flips over 100 times, blows up, and you're standing on the side. Oh, everything's fine. I'm good. And so that's like cartoon world. It's like we're going to have um, a lot more control over stuff, like the density. It always looks like to me like this old movie of like they wanted to keep us in this old movie, in this way of life. And then there's just so much about them with the mind control. That's just so wacky, of how much mind control. Like, we've all been under such mind control. That is the part of the waking up, is coming out of the mind control. You question your programs, to question reality, to question why you think this, why do you look at it that way, why do you do this and stuff, and to see things. And so we have, like, right now, all these things going on, and all these people who are really hyper focused, and all this stuff going. And that is but see, they're still not all seeing the whole picture. They're all still just looking at a fragment of what's happening, and that drives their fear. But so that is what I'm saying. It's going to be this like expansive look where all of a sudden there's going to be so much that people are going to see. That's going to be like when the lights come on. And I don't know how it's going to go. Like, I don't know what the thing is it's going to be that's going to create it. And it seems like it's definitely, it could be in this 20 days or something. It seems like this 20 days is definitely marked for being very chaotic. And now, what is it, 16 days? But if they're going to try and put him in, They're gonna try and put him in jail or something on the tent. Like, who knows what fucking dramas they've got going and how it's got to play out or whatever. All I know is it's to get all these people to start paying attention. You still have the people, the TDS people, the bias people. There's like, they don't give a shit. Like, it's like, well, he deserves it. He's a criminal and stuff. It's like, you guys don't even have any clue. It's like that attitude is coming from not relevance, like not real things. It's coming from somewhere inside. And it's like, but that's the kind of things that have to be purged out and stuff. Because that guy, the one who was talking about all these electrical grid system attack here in Washington State today, is that uh, talking about the extremists and stuff. And it's funny because when you look at this guy, he looks like some old Southern boy. Like a lot of people would look and go like, oh, he's one of those extreme. He wears a MAGA hat or something. But I don't know. He had a cowboy hat on, and but the way he was talking about the extremists and stuff is like, like this is the government doing this stuff. They hire TERR. They don't just hire them. They create them. They create these instigators, these TERRORISTSs. They make them, and then they have them come and do stuff, like take down buildings and stuff. And so and it's all for this, to save us, to protect us. Just like the medical is here to save us and protect us. It's the insurance is here. Like it's all such bullshit. It's all such bullshit. But you got to just start seeing through it, and everything is like highlighting all of the holes, all the things wrong, so that you do catch on. So you do start seeing it. And then there's lots of people who are super resistant, though. And these people, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's like there's no fucking theories about this shit. There's all this shit is going on. And like, yeah, there's a conspiracy out to get you. You don't have any fucking clue. And they are out to fucking destroy us. And they make us sick and they profit off of it. And they create fear. The biggest thing to me is the ignorance that they create through the people not knowing who they are. That just blows my mind. It blows my mind. I'm so curious to see how this all plays out and what happens when people all of a sudden realize is it's going to be hard. I'm telling you, when people all of a sudden face their own selves, face their own soul, there's going to be a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of pain, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. It's going to be like these it's like the Schumann having like all this white, as people are waking up, and there's gonna be like this zap of this white. But then there's gonna keep being, I don't know, maybe it'll be a new color because it's gonna be a new emotion. Like there is gonna be a lot of emotion when the people see what they haven't seen. And that is going to be, and that to me is what brings on the solar flare, because all of this is an energetic storm around us. And all of this is this liberation, this jubilee and this liberation and this refocusing. Because like I said, it's not going to be like people, like how we have people who go to church and stuff like that. It's not going to be like, well, if you're spiritual, you got to go and you got to go meditate for an hour over at the temple. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be like everybody's just out living their free life, and if you feel good not needing to go and, I think that most people are going to find benefit in the time of, like you could call it meditation, reflection, or time of just being alone, being away from other people's energy for a while and resetting, like plugging yourself in, resetting yourself without everybody else's consumption of you. So it's just going to be more of the things that we're going to do differently. But I don't think that we're just going to be like, all of a sudden the whole world's just going to be like, oh, we're all religious or something. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a lot more just, I think where we're headed, it just looks like this loving, people taking responsibility for how they look at things changes how things are in people's behavior. And so it's just going to be such a more peaceful, such a more safe space. That's what it's going to seem more like, where people just don't feel safe in the world, and emotionally safe and stuff, spiritually safe and stuff. That we're going to create a world where we all feel safe and connected, where we're not stressed out, we're not competing with each other, we're not out there trying to make it in the world and stuff. Things are going to go so much more smoother. This is like, oh yeah, like in the micro macro of a storm, and then the storm is just like a hostile storm, just tears everything up. And then after, there's the cleanup. Now we're gonna go through the cleanup, but after that is this peace, like this peace that it comes. And that is where we're going to finally get to that place of peace, peace on earth. That is this whole thing, this whole concept of peace on earth, heaven on earth and stuff. And that's what we're headed to. There's just a lot of stuff to get there, and a lot of stuff where, I don't know, like the religious people are kind of scared of it or something, because I think this is the tribulation. This is the battle to self, this battle to find your truth and stuff. And it's a battle that you want. It's not something that you want to, like if the soul master came down and grabbed your soul up and goes, ah, go. And then you got to see everybody else down there getting all the benefits, and you're sitting up there at the right hand of the soul master. I'd be like, I think I could have done better going down there and done the work than just come sit here and do a bunch of nothing. Because everything is like it opens, it expands our energy. Everything that we do is a more of an expansion of our energy, and we become more and more and more. The more, and plus the more that you understand yourself, the more that you can you move with intention through your own expansion. So anyways, oh, it has been talking a while. Let me think if there was some other stuff that I was gonna say. All the things that I was noticing was just like there's all this stuff going on, and people just look at things from weird perspectives always, and then you just these negative, hateful people, and it's so weird how somebody can go in into a thing of 2,500 videos, watch a video, and think that they have got you figured out. It's like that is some ego shit right there. That is some. And then, I don't know. I mean, just the one person, after how many times I have said my opinions over some of these other channelers and stuff, and then people coming in, well, have you gone in and watched them? Like they could, help you out or something. It's like, dude, you got to see what you see. I'm not going to tell somebody what to see. You figure it out for yourself. So anyways, all I can tell you is what the best thing to be doing while you're here going through this stuff is like processing through it, staying aware, paying attention to your own signs, paying attention to what's going on in the world, and using the different interactions that you have to benefit you in your growth and stuff. Because what you need to be doing is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day. And then I'll come back and talk about it some more tomorrow, unless my power's down. I'll see you later. Bye.